We're going to start over, and this one will be the real one. Are we ready? All right. So I'm going to call this to order again. My name is Monica Schmecker. I'm the appointed special magistrate to hear today's code enforcement hearings pursuant to Chapter 2, Article 5 of the Fort Myers Beach Land Development Code and Florida Statutes Chapter 162. I've approved the minutes that we have on the agenda. And next, we're going to hear the cases that are on the agenda in the order in which that they appear, unless we make any changes at this time.
Code Enforcement Manager Michael Hauserman, item number A, 2025-1015, 7904 Estero Boulevard is in compliance and will not be heard today. And item I, case 2025-0888, 1339 Santos Road is in compliance and will not be heard today.
All right.
We have two items that the town and owner is requesting a continuance of 30 days. Item F, 2025-1067, Tavia Investment Real LLC, 61 Flamingo Street. And item H, 2025-1131, TNI Global LLC, 175 Baja Via. Owner has made efforts to come into compliance and is out of the country at the present time.
Okay, continuance, you said for H, also 30 days, or?
Also 30 days,
Okay.
yes.
All right, no problem. Okay, is that all for those?
That's all for today.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so these will be quasi-judicial hearings, which means that they're similar to cases in court. The rules are less formal. Formal rules of evidence do not apply. Fundamental due process will apply. I'm going to listen to the facts and the evidence before me and apply them to the applicable law. In all cases, the town will have the burden of proof, will present its case first, and then the respondent will have the opportunity to speak, present evidence, and refute the town's allegations after the town is done with its presentation. All parties who are here to speak will have the opportunity to do so, including those that I see we have electronically via video. At the conclusion of each case, or within 15 days, I'll issue an order with findings of fact, conclusions of law, and affording the proper relief. At this time, I'd like to ask everybody to stand up who will be testifying. So you can raise your right hand for the taking of the oath. Thank you. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Thank you. All right, you may be seated. And with that, the town can call its first case. I believe that we have a status update, which is the Geises FMB case number 2024-0936, property address 126 Anchorage. You may proceed.
Yes, this case was originally heard on September 2025, ordered on September 12, 2025 to come to compliance on or before October 31st, 2025, or a fine of $200 a day thereafter be assessed. This is in reference to building permits on a ground floor residence regarding exterior walls and plumbing related issues. I did file an affidavit, which is in the record, an affidavit of noncompliance on November 24th, 2025, that a permit had not been obtained for the referenced unpermitted work. The owner has made attempts to amend the permit in-house to address the violations that were cited under this original notice. We have a representative from our floodplain that can explain a little bit more detail what the issues were on the first floor, but it isn't currently in review, excluding the plumbing issues.
Good morning, Kelly DeFedericis, Town of Fort Myers Beach Floodplain Manager. And as a follow-up to what Michael was saying, currently right now, requires resubmit for the revision. They So to start from the beginning, when they applied for an application, what was approved were these walls that were knee walls. They were like walls that were halfway up, not fully up to the underside of the structure. It's an elevated structure. And so they constructed these walls all the way up higher than what was originally approved. So they worked outside the scope of work. When FEMA came through and was doing their audit, they're like, can we have all the permitting documentation for this structure? And that's when it was discovered that they did not follow through with their permit and that they worked outside the scope of work for their permit. And so with that being said, they have came in, and I've met with them a couple times with regard to the plumbing on the ground floor is not allowed. Storage access parking are the only items allowed on the ground floor, so they have plumbing. And the walls, they came in for a revision with their permit that they worked out the outside scope of work for, to permit the walls. The walls have been approved by the structural reviewer, and they have provided documentation, and they'll get their inspections for the walls. The plumbing has not been rectified yet. It has not, they have not submitted plans for the removal of the bathroom and the covering of the plumbing there. So as of right now, until we get documentation that that bathroom is going to be removed, they have not followed through with the requirements of floodplain management by not removing the plumbing in the bathroom yet. So that's where we are with this right now. There's no documentation. I've done, their disagreement, the owner's disagreement is that that bathroom's always been there. Through review of property appraisers and aerials and just photos property appraiser has, you can see that it was an open-aired structure underneath until they put those walls up, which enclosed the area and now has a bathroom under there. So before it was lattice and like just wood on the exterior, and you could see through it that there was no plumbing or bathroom on the ground floor. We're not, property appraiser has this structure as a 2-2. With that bathroom, it makes it a 2-3, which there's no record on property appraiser or taxes being paid on this bathroom that never received a permit and shouldn't be there. So that's where we are with that.
Okay, thank you. Is that for the town for now, or do you have additional comment?
That's correct. To remove the plumbing and finalize the permits, they are on Zoom for comment.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. and Mrs. Geesey, can you hear me okay? Okay, good. We can't hear them, though. Is there a volume?
Hang on just a moment.
There they are.
Yours
It's-
now?
It's on now.
Okay, good.
All right, thank you. Good morning. You may proceed.
Good morning. I can't tell you how that washroom bathroom got in. I have no idea. The bottom line is when we raised that home, we tore out the slabs. We discovered that the cast iron plumbing that was under the slab that took care of the washroom and bathroom was deteriorated. We replaced it, and that's the bottom line to that whole deal. There was an enclosure underneath that there was a washer dryer that sat on the slab, and in the enclosure, there was a makeshift bathroom, let's put it that way. It wasn't something that I would typically build being in the construction business, but the plumbing was put back for that bathroom. I understand the severity as it relates to water now, since we've had the storm. I get it. I don't have a problem with abandoning that bathroom. I don't want to, but I will. I will comply with it. I intend to cap off the plumbing down there, the DWV, which is drain, waste, and vent, take it out of there, and that'll be that. We're gonna leave the room as more storage, since I have a storage room behind that originally, which is back now again, and we're gonna turn that room into storage, bottom line. In terms of the skirting that was around the outside of that house, there was old wood slatting, as it was referred to. And we replaced it years ago when we raised the house with AZAC skirting. It's a poly product. It's a manufactured product that is impervious to water, rodents, bugs, anything else. I had no idea when I replaced those walls downstairs, I had no idea where I was going. I do know this. In years past, a number of years ago, we were upstairs. It was early one morning. I heard some movement on the outside of the house. since the floors are not insulated underneath this unit. And I told my wife, I said, I have no idea what that is, but I'm gonna go downstairs and find out. So I put some clothes on, went downstairs, walked around the corner, and here's a guy siphoning gas out of an automobile that I keep underneath that house, out of my car. I said, son, what are you doing? I said, it's pretty obvious to me what you're up to. I said, my suggestion to you is, don't do it. I said, unless you want to walk out of here on your own power, I said, you better leave. His buddy was across the street in the church parking lot. They had several gas cans. They had obviously done it in other places. And they were, as it turns out, I called the sheriff, had the sheriff come out. Sheriff ran them down 2 blocks down. They were doing it again. And that's just one issue I have with having that thing open underneath. The other thing is it keeps out snakes, palm rats, iguanas. I've had a myriad of things underneath that house. When we closed it in for that purpose.
Talk about how many times we have been down there, that you have been down there. What came to light recently was, after the storm, we were working on a permit before, and then after the storm, Bryce submitted all the new application. And on that application was what he was doing, it was right on there. What just came to light was, in all the meetings that I have been out of this just listening from the side, but Bryce was down there the day after the September hearing because we had a meeting with the town and didn't know we still had to come to the September meeting. We had just gotten down there. So therefore, we weren't intentionally not coming. We thought we were supposed to go to the meeting with the people that we were meeting with the building department. Well, at that time, what came up is my understanding, after asking Bryce several questions, was that I'm going back to this wall, that was what I'm talking about, the enclosure of this, taking the skirting off, because it was all destroyed. And what he did then, preceding the storm, was closing it in with the framing and stucco, and which was on the original permit. But what got left off was nobody ever in 2 years, this has been going on 2 years of trying to get the permitting correct, was at that meeting they said, get a engineer's letter for the outside stucco. Well, that's all they told us. We immediately did that. It took 3 to 4 or 5 weeks for us to get that letter. And that was what I was actually bringing down, because we had called and called, trying to reach Joe, trying to reach Kelly. We left quite a few messages, kind of gave up, waiting for somebody to call us. But that was the first time anybody had even said, get an engineer's letter for this, what you did differently from the skirting. But what was discovered a week ago, when I came in and had a conversation, because I was bringing more documentation down to Kelly at the time, along with that engineer's letter, was nobody, until we called and spoke to somebody on your staff, was that we needed to do a revision form, which we didn't know anything about. Nobody in 2 years told us this. And we had to do this drawing. So we went, what? What revision form? Nobody's ever mentioned we had to revise the original permit. It was on there, $7,500 for stucco was all on there, but that permit had been abandoned, and then they are using the original permit that had not been we were not under any information that it had been finalized, because we had just been down there 2 weeks before the storm. So we weren't aware. How could it have gotten finalized? So as soon as we learned, we had to do a revision form and send in a drawing of what he did. And we brought the engineer's letter. We emailed all this. I sent it to so many people in the departments. We did it immediately. But what I don't understand is how could we go that long, sat in so many meetings in so many different locations and several different building department heads, and nobody said, you have to do these 2 steps. It was so simple once we were told what we had to do for that wall, that it blows my mind that why has this gone on so long that nobody gave us the actual steps to take?
In conclusion, there is an engineer's report down there, and it's pretty specific on what I have to do and relates to making those walls completely for her compliance. Nice gal. Very well-educated gal. She said, you're gonna have to cut control joints in those sections between those columns. I said, I get it, I do it for a living. I said, I can do that. I said, I'm gonna have to have some time to do it though, because I'm gonna have to take a demo saw and cut them since it is stucco, cement stucco. And I said, we can do that sometime in January and make those completely compliant as it relates to breakaway walls. I said, I get it.
Because we will not be back now until latter part of January. We just returned home yesterday. So,
Okay.
that's what I don't understand is.
So
how
my,
this-
my understanding is there's 2 issues. There's one with the walls, which the walls we've got relatively almost sorted out. They're in review for the walls. The real pending issue is the bathroom.
Correct.
Exactly.
Okay, so,
And that's kind of been a mystery to us too, because we thought a year ago when we jumped through a bunch of hoops last November when we were down there, we talked to Carl Thomas.
so let's take this one issue at a time, okay?
Okay.
So with the walls, we're okay with putting that on hold until we can figure out whether or not that, you said that's in review.
So yes, the wall has been approved the review has been approved by the building official who does the structural review. And I spoke to him with regard to that. You are correct with the structural letter and the requirement. And he had added inspections to that. So when he goes out and inspects what was required on that engineering letter, when you pass those structural inspections is when the wall will be compliant. So the building official is aware of what he is specifically looking for because of that letter, but now
So
with,
we're gonna table that one because that one is in the process of
Correct.
becoming compliant. What I'm really more concerned about is the bathroom, and my questions are, in order for that to become compliant, it would have to be removed. Okay, what does he need to do in order to remove it? As far as permitting or submission goes, because you specified a plan or a drawing?
so the removal will be part of his revision that he submitted. So they've done a revision with regard to the walls, so they've done that piece. But I can't approve that revision until I get the bathroom removal plans. Because when you do the bathroom removal, you're gonna have the inspector come in and check and make sure everything's capped off as well. So you're just gonna submit a drawing showing where that bathroom is, how you're going to be capping it off, just as you explained to us. And then when that is uploaded and submitted, I will sign off on the review. The inspector will validate it in the field that it's been covered. There's no plumbing. You're not going to be able to put that bathroom back in. And then that is how the permit will be closed. And so you have to add that to the revision.
So
Okay,
it's-
let's be specific let's be real clear on this. My intent is to cap off the plumbing in that room. I have to when I do it, I'm gonna have to cap off the shower drain,
Correct.
the concrete in that. I'm gonna have to cap off the lavatory, which I can remove that's in there. And I'm gonna have to cap off the stool drain. I intend to do that.
Yes.
What you're asking me to do, I think, is give you a drawing on doing this.
Well, you could use the property appraiser sketch showing the location of the bathroom that you're going to be capping off. So you just have to show on a plan where you're going to be doing it, and you could just write on that plan also what you're going to be doing. It doesn't have to be anything fancy or super detailed. You can use a property appraiser sketch showing where the bathroom is and how you're capping it off and the details. So
Is there a
yes.
revision form we have to use?
You already have submitted a revision, so you're going to be responding to my requires resubmit. So you'll be uploading that document to the portal.
Oh, wait a minute, say that again?
You
So-
are going to be responding to the requires resubmit in your permit that I've done by uploading a document with the details you've just described.
And we haven't received that from you yet, though.
That was, the requires resubmit was done this morning.
Okay,
All right, okay.
I guess we haven't seen
Did you
that.
send it to my email?
I don't send it out, cyberspace sends it out, so when I do a requires resubmit, then the permit tech out processes everything. So that can take a few hours, because it does have to go through cyberspace.
I have to tell you, we're a little nervous about cyberspace since we got hacked yesterday and were asked to pay $4,950 to your department.
Yeah.
We're a little concerned right now. You
Okay,
do know we were hacked, and it came from your departments.
Michael?
Michael knows about it, so we're a little cautious here about stuff.
Hey, Michael? Can you hear me?
Yes, we are working with the sheriff on that because it was not just you. A couple people got that email, so we're trying to.
That,
Okay,
I don't know how
But
that's,
that'll be separate.
sorry, huh?
I'll call you. I'll call
We're
you
not
on
gonna
that.
address that here
Yeah,
right
I'll
now.
call you on that separate.
What I am gonna do is, we're gonna table the discussion about the walls just to make sure that that does get completed. And if there's anything else that needs to be done, that gets addressed in due time, but since that ball is rolling on that, then we're not gonna issue any sort of order on that, because I wanna make sure that works out, and it looks like it will, okay? As far as the bathroom is concerned, Mr. and Mrs. Geesey, what you will need to do is when you do get the email for is a require revision?
Yeah.
Okay, so, or a resubmittal of
Yes.
something? Okay, so then, how much time do you believe you would need to submit a drawing pursuant to the request that the town is asking, which is the drawing that includes the bathroom being removed and the plumbing being capped off? And
Your
then
Honor,
the,
I have a drawing downstairs on my drafting table. I can send it today.
okay.
It's not a problem.
Well, I'll give you a little bit more time than that. So what we could do is give them, what would the town request for them to make sure to submit that drawing to get the ball rolling on
if he
getting?
says he's going to, I'll just put myself a calendar reminder. If I haven't seen it in a week, I'll just reach out directly to him and send him, but it sounds like they're very adamant about getting it correct.
And it sounds like they're ready to do that. So
Yeah.
what we'll do is, I'll give you, say, a week to make sure you get that submitted, and to continue to work with the town to make sure that becomes compliant. It is evident to me that the Geeseys want to become compliant, and they want to work with you to do it. So I do not want to penalize them at this time for that, as long as the ball continues to be moving. However, Mr. and Mrs. Geesey, I will tell you this, I do expect that the ball continues to be moving to be compliant. So please keep working on that to get to where we need to be, okay?
Will do.
Okay, does that work?
Yes.
All right,
That
so
works.
what I'll do is I'll issue an order just with the findings of fact of what we've decided today. I can't give them a week to become compliant, because then you guys will have to be, review it and do whatever the next steps will be. But I will put on they will be submitting the next step anyway in a week, and that they will continue to move towards compliance, and that they will be expected to be in substantial compliance within the next 30 days, which, when we have another hearing, okay?
We
Well,
won't be able to be in compliance.
Well,
with
we won't be back till January.
I understand, but what we've got going right now are the plans and the permitting, right? So
Got it.
all of the next steps need to be taken,
that. Okay.
right? Okay? All right.
Okay, so question. Kelly,
Yes,
if
sir.
I send you this drawing, what else above and beyond that do you need? Be specific.
Just as I specified, we'll need details of exactly how you're going to be capping it off. Are you going to be soldering it? Are you going to be dumping cement down the drains? How are you going to be capping off the plumbing? And then, just like I said, the location on a plan and exactly how you're going to be doing it, so. Just
can do that.
details.
I can do that.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else from the town that you wish to address at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so are we okay with setting a status conference for the January
The
hearing?
January hearing, yes.
Which is more than 30 days, because it is mid-January. So, is that okay? All right, we'll set it for status. Did you have something to say, Mr. Geesey, you wanted to add?
Extend our.
Well, the permit that Joe and I combined months ago, 181692 and 233111, Joe and I met and combined those two permits so it'd be easier for the inspectors to do the inspections on the property. It was just too convoluted with having two permits. No, I really don't have anything else to say. There's nothing else I can go with there.
We do have our extension approved.
The extension is through, on that particular permit, 181692, is through February, I believe it's 15. And yes, by February 15th, I'll be done, so.
Okay. We have the next status conference hearing is January 15th. We can just check where you are on things at that time. When did you
Thank you.
say you will return? Before that or after that?
I will be back, mid-January.
Okay. Well, hopefully you'll be here, but if not, we can do it electronically as well, so we can discuss your progress, okay?
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, is that all as well? All right.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you. So then, we are done with that case. Thank you. You have a good day. The next item is violation cases, item B. FMB case number 2025-1012. Property address 2654 Estero Boulevard. Respondent is Estero Beach Club, East Condo A. We have Officer Chavez. Are we ready to proceed? Do we have a respondent on that one? Nope, nobody here for that? Okay.
Yes, hi, Your Honor. That has been complied.
I'm sorry?
It has been complied.
Okay, item B, they are compliant?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, well, that works. Do you need an order of compliance, or did you guys close that out?
I just closed it out already.
All right, so it's dismissed?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so the next item is item C, FMB case number 2025-1135. Property owner, Beach and Sunsets LLC, property address 4255 Estero Boulevard. Okay, you may
Okay.
proceed.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Marcel Chavez. I have been a code compliance officer for the town of Fort Myers Beach for a year and 6 years prior with another jurisdiction. I have been sworn in and will be providing testimony and documentation for case 2025-1135. The documentation is attached to the agenda as exhibits, and we ask that all documents be accepted as evidence.
I have exhibits A and B, and they've been reviewed, and they'll be accepted. Well, is there a respondent here on that one? No respondent? Okay, so they'll be accepted in evidence.
Okay.
A and B.
Thank you. The subject property is located at 4255 Estero Boulevard, Fort Myers Beach, Florida, 33931. Exhibit A contains a notice of hearing sent on November 4th, affidavit of notice, hearing and posting, proof of certified and regular mail, and photos of the NOH posted on site, and Town Hall on November 4th, 2025. The documentation that the respondent, Beach and Sunset LLC, owns a real property that is the subject of the code enforcement case. Included in Exhibit A is a copy of the Lee County property appraiser and that demonstrates that notice was provided to the property owners and an affidavit of non-compliance with photos completed by employee Officer Chavez. True and unaltered copies have been marked as Exhibit A. On November 4th, Code Officer Marcel Chavez observed Beach and Sunsets LLC in violation of the Town Fort Myers Beach Code Ordinances, LDC Section 6-1, Adoption of International Property Maintenance Code, Code 308.1, Accumulation of Rubbish or Garbage, and Section 6-2, Weeds. Accurate and unaltered copies of the photos taken on the day of the first inspection, November 4, 2025. The notice of violation and photos sent certified mail to the property owner and first-class mail. The NOV was posted on site and on Town Hall on November 4th. All have been marked as Exhibit B. Officer Chavez performed a reinspection on November 26, 2025, and the subject property was still in violation of the Town of Fort Myers Beach ordinances. An affidavit of non-compliance and photos of the inspection are marked as Exhibit C. Okay, Beach and Sunsets LLC was given 20 days to bring violation to compliance with the Town of Fort Myers Beach ordinance, which was on or before November 24th, 2025. As a result of the subject property owner's ability to not bring subject property into full compliance with Town Code LDC Section 6-1, Adoption of International Property Maintenance Code, Code 308.1, Accumulation of Rubbish or Garbage, and Section 6-2, Weeds. Based on my sworn testimony and evidence that has been presented to you, including exhibits within the agenda packet, the Town of Fort Myers Beach would like to ask that on the Florida Statutes, Chapter 162, and Town of Fort Myers Beach Land Development Code, Section 2-427B, impose an administration fee of $250 to cover the cost of bringing this matter before the magistrate. Thank you.
Are you requesting that Exhibit C be admitted into evidence?
Yes.
Okay, I will admit it. Okay, am I right that the initial notice was November 5th, 25?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to.
I'm sorry, November 4th.
November 4th. I am going to allow 30 days for them to come into compliance, simply because I want to make sure that there's sufficient time for them to receive the notice of the order and everything, since it's fairly recent. And I'll do the $250 administrative fee for them not coming into compliance.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Excuse me. They are in communication with me. They said that, by December 10th, everything should be
Okay,
done. But
all right,
we could give them till January. Yes.
that's fine. They could be done by December 10th. That would be great.
Perfect.
But I want to make sure that the note, everything gets
Yes.
to them. Because it is, like I said, it is fairly recent. So I'll allow 30 days, because after they do become compliant, they still will have to contact the town
Yes.
to verify that compliance. So that'll give them a cushion as well if they need to fix anything else,
Yeah,
okay?
No all right, no
So
problem.
I will allow them 30 days in the order. You did request the $250 administrative fee, correct?
Yes, correct.
All right. I will grant that. I'll issue an order, and if they are compliant by the next January 15th hearing, then great, then we could issue an order of compliance at that time. Otherwise, then we could assess a fee at that time, okay?
No problem. Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, we could assess a fine at that time, is what I meant to say. All right, is that all for that one?
Yes, that's all.
Good. So then we can move on to the next one. The next item I have is item D, FMB case number 2025-0968, property owner Cecilia Gonzalez, property address 155 Hibiscus Drive. We have the respondent here. Okay, great. You're more than welcome to come over here and have you can stand there. And good morning for the town. We have,
Good morning, Terry Wyke.
okay, you may proceed, Ms. White.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name's Terry Wyke. I'm Code Compliance Officer. I work for the town of Fort Myers Beach for a year and a half. I've been sworn in and will provide testimony and documentation for case number 2025-0968. The documentation is attached to the agenda as exhibits, and we ask that all documents be accepted into evidence. The subject property is located at 155 Hibiscus Drive, Fort Myers Beach, Florida, 33931. Exhibit A contains the notice of violation / notice of hearing and photos of the violations, all sent October 16th, 2025. Affidavit of notice and posting, copy of certified mail receipt and photos of the hearing posted on October 17th, 2025, on site and at the Town Hall building. The documentation that the respondent, Cecilia Gonzalez, owns the property at the subject address is all part of this code enforcement case. Included in Exhibit A is a copy of the Lee County tax notice, the Lee County property appraiser's printout, both showing ownership of the property. The notice of violation and notice of hearing certified mail has not been returned to the town. True and accurate and unaltered copies have been marked as Exhibit A and accepted into the record.
We haven't admitted them yet. Would you like to
You don't
request?
have copies of all?
I do, you haven't requested them to be admitted, so I'm gonna ask her if she's reviewed A, B,
Oh.
and C.
Oh.
Okay. So exhibits A, B, and C, which you're referencing, were attached to today's agenda, or online. Did you have an opportunity to review A, B, and C?
I did have an opportunity to review it. I am a school teacher. Unfortunately, I took the paperwork to school and I had not
That's
seen.
That's okay. I'm just asking you if you've had an opportunity to review it
reviewed.
and whether you have any objection to the documents themselves. Now, you'll
No
have an
objections, and I
Okay.
am taking steps to correct them.
Okay, so no problem. I just want to make sure you don't have any objections to the document themselves. I will admit A, B, and C into the record, okay? All right.
Cecilia Gonzalez was given 16 days to come into compliance with the Town of Fort Myers Beach Code of Ordinances, Section 6-1, 303.1, 6-1, 308.1, Sections 34-1176C1, 6-2, 302.4 of the Fort Myers Beach Code of Ordinances. And giving her time to comply, which was on or before November 1st, 2025. On November 4th, 2025, the town completed an inspection and found the property to be non-compliant, and that would be Exhibit B with photos of my inspection. And then this morning, the town completed another inspection today, December 2nd, 2025, and found the property still to be non-compliant. And I have photos and an affidavit of non-compliance for you and for the property owner.
Good morning. Thank you.
Ms. Gonzalez, just take a look at that and let me know if you have any objection to that being admitted.
No, Your Honor, I do not have any objections.
Okay, thank you. Exhibit D will be admitted.
Thank you. As a result of the subject property owner's failure to bring the property into full compliance of the Town of Fort Myers Beach ordinances, and based on my sworn testimony and the evidence presented to you, including the exhibits in the packet and the exhibit that it just recently gave you, we're asking that an order be issued, and the town would like to impose the $250 administrative fee for bringing this case to the special magistrate. We'd also like to ask for $250 day fine till the property owner mows the grass, maintains the lawn under 12 inches in height, cleans all rubbish, garbage, and debris from the property, and secures the pool and treats the water to eliminate mosquito larvae, or apply for a permit to demolish the pool. And that's all I have to say, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Gonzalez?
Okay, I did receive this, and I took it to school, and I had misplaced it. Actually, I found it last night. We took care of it this morning. Early this morning, we contacted someone already, and he is going to begin tomorrow to remove the rubbish and to get the property back in order. As far as the fencing, we thought, excuse me, we thought that the fence that we had put up, because it was originally way back, maybe 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, put up by our contractor. We lost the permits, and the contractor walked away. He did not do anything else. And we went back and we put up a fence. Now, the fence fell or was pushed through, which was a temporary one. And we are willing to go ahead and comply with whatever needs to be put up there around that pool.
Okay, thank you. All right. You said you had contacted somebody. Do you have a timeline on when you're looking to clean up the area?
Yes, I have his card right here. He's starting tomorrow.
Okay, good. As far as the pool is concerned, I know there's the fence situation. Ms. White, was there a temporary fence left at some point? Is that?
Yes, it's still there, but it has fallen in several places, and there is water and debris in the pool, so it is unsafe and probably producing mosquito larvae.
Right. Okay, I am going to issue an order. I'll give you, I'll permit 30 days to get everything in order, including the pool. The pool will need to be treated. If you need to put up a fence, more than likely, you're gonna need some sort of permitting, so you'll need to go through that process. Please
Okay.
do not delay,
No.
because permitting is a process, okay? So just because I give you 30 days, please do not wait 29 days. Please get that started immediately so that we could get a fence. That is a safety concern.
Yes.
Okay, so we want to make sure that that gets taken care of, all right? So I'll issue an order pursuant to that. You will have the responsibility to contact the town when something does become compliant. So once you've got everything cleaned up and the pool is ready to go, it will be your responsibility to contact code enforcement and let them know so that they can verify compliance, okay?
Okay.
They very kindly can go out on their own, but they are not required to do so. So in order for, like, if we show up here and you haven't called and said, hey, I've been compliant, can you please come and verify? Then you can still be, non-compliant.
Okay.
As far as the fencing is concerned, we'll have to check to see where they are on that permitting. I would imagine that's a fairly simple process, but please get that started so that gets done.
Okay.
So 30 days on that. You will assess a fine at the next hearing if necessary, okay?
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Okay, and, go, yeah, are you, okay, come on up.
What I want to add is
Well, I guess it's up to Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Fernando de la Vega. We
Okay.
had a major issue with the contractor that was on board from day one. And it took 2 years for us to find out that the building was unsafe after we had spent most of the insurance that the mortgage company was holding hostage to get the building corrected. We had engineering surveys done on the property from day one, saying the property was safe. We went ahead and did drawings again with Atlas Engineering to mitigate where the window that fell off and build the beams again and pour concrete the correct way. And then the permits get pulled out 2 years after all that money was spent in the building. And now we're being told demolish or raise, which it will be an option for her to decide. But it's unfortunate that this kind of stuff is happening in Fort Myers Beach. Not only did we have an issue with Ian, we're also having an issue, people's lives that are getting destroyed. We have a lien on the property by said contractor because they want to get paid in full when they only have completed maybe 50% of the work. And we're going to have to solve that with a lawyer to try to get that guy off. He still has his sign there. When we told him about the fence falling down, he did nothing. I went with her to Home Depot, bought an equivalent fence that our neighbor has next door. We didn't know anything about this 4-foot fence that now we have to build. So we never got documentation that says your fence is inadequate, go upgrade it, right? It did fall off. I saw the pictures, and we were just there this morning. We went with a landscaper who offered to clean the entire property, remove the garbage that our people are dumping onto our property, right? We got wheelbarrows from our neighbor, most likely he cleaned his, left us wheelbarrows with bricks that we don't even own in the backyard if you go take a picture. Fences that fell off. From Ian, we still had garbage in the pool. I went and sucked the water out, but it rains here, water comes back. But we'll treat it. I'm gonna make sure we shock it first, and then treat it for mosquito. But I can't do anything about the water. It's gonna come back. So it's unfortunate, and you can't have an empty pool in the summertime because it's gonna pop up. And she wants to sell the property someday, maybe with a pool. So I don't know how we manage that. But we'll take care of this in 2 days. The contractor, we're coming back Friday night. So Saturday, we're gonna inspect that he cleaned it. And then I'm gonna fix the fence posts that are broken. That's why it fell down.
You need a permit.
No, not for the temporary. Then we'll get a permit. If you have to build a 4-foot or 6-foot picket fence of some sort, I'll get a permit. We'll do that. That's all I can add.
Okay.
Where, when we go for permitting, will they let us know what we need to do exactly for the fencing?
Yes.
The spacing for the posts,
Mm-hmm.
is gonna be adhered to the house.
I would say chain link is probably your easiest bet, but
No, actually
Okay.
posts, because I can drill to the concrete that's there around the pool.
okay, whatever you
And
decide.
attach it to the wall of the house, on all sides, and maybe put a door.
Yeah, whatever you decide, as long as it passes what the building department requires for safety.
I'll sketch it,
Okay.
and submit a drawing if you,
Okay.
I'm an engineer by heart.
So, okay, so, go ahead and I'll issue an order giving you, 30 days to go into compliance, and we'll assess in, January hearing, which is January 15th, at that point, if there's any fines or fees to assess,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, just
you.
keep
And-
in contact with me, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Thank
And
you
right now,
very
just,
much.
I know you talked about other items, but right now, we're worried about securing the pool,
Yes.
cleaning the pool, and cleaning and mowing the area, so that it is clean and neat, okay? Anything else?
No, ma'am. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, you are free to go today, and hopefully we'll have everything
Yep.
Yes.
figured
Great.
out by the next
Yes.
hearing. Okay? Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you
day.
very much.
Fortunate that we're in Miami, and she doesn't get the documentation. Sometimes the letter gets misplaced and things like that, but we'll take care of the issue.
Okay, thank you.
Much appreciated, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
You too. I'd take a quick 30-second break. All right, the next case that we have is item E on the agenda, and it's FMB case number 2025-0722, property owner Robert Yankee, property address 167 Chapel Street. Do we have a respondent present?
I don't
No?
believe so.
Okay. Thank you. Town, you may proceed.
Good morning, Your Honor. Again, Terry White, Town of Fort Myers Beach. I've been a code compliance officer for a year and a half. I've been sworn in and will provide testimony and documentation for case number 2025-0722. The documentation is attached to the agenda as exhibits, and we ask that all documents be accepted into evidence.
I have exhibits A, B, and C. And seeing that there's no respondent, then I will go ahead and admit A, B, and C.
Okay, thank you. The subject property is located at 167 Chapel Street, Fort Myers Beach, Florida, 33931. Exhibit A contains a notice of violation / notice of hearing and photos of the violations, all sent September 30th, 2025. Affidavit and notice of posting, copy of certified mail receipt, and photos of the hearing, photos of the notice of violation and notice of hearing posted on October 2nd, 2025, on site and at the Town Hall building. The documentation that the respondent, Ronald Yankee, owner of the real property of this code enforcement case, including in Exhibit A is a copy of the Lee County Tax Collector's Notice, Lee County Property Appraisers printout, both showing ownership of the property. The notice of violation and notice of hearing was sent certified mail, and the green card was returned and signed. There's a stamp on the green card stating it's a Fort Myers Beach stamp, October 15th, 2025. All true and accurate and unaltered copies have been marked as Exhibit A and accepted into the record. Ronald Yankee was given 30 days to come into compliance with the Town of Fort Myers Beach Code of Ordinances, Section 6-501, 6-525, 6-441, all relevant to permits required for the sheds that he's put on the property, which he did not receive. Again, he was given 30 days to come into compliance, which was on or before October 30th, 2025. And on October 30th, 2025, the town completed an inspection and found the property to be non-compliant. And all this, please accept the affidavit of notice of compliance and photos into the record as Exhibit B. This morning, the town completed another inspection, December 2nd, 2025, and found the property owner still to be non-compliant. Please accept these affidavits and photos. Mark, let's see, we'll call
D?
this Exhibit, yes, please.
Okay.
Photos of today and affidavit of non-compliance.
Yeah, bring that over. Thank you. Okay, I will admit D into evidence.
As a result, the property owner's failure to bring the subject property into full compliance of the town of Code of Ordinances, and based on my testimony and the evidence that is presented to you, including the exhibits within the agenda packet, on behalf of the town of Fort Myers Beach, I would like to ask for an order to be issued. We would like to impose the administrative fee of $250 to bring this case to the special magistrate, and ask for a $250 fine for each day that the violation exists, either until the sheds are removed or until the property owner applies for and receive the permits required for the sheds, and to follow through to issuance of that permit. And it's considered called a residential permit for an accessory structure.
Have you had any communication with the owner?
None.
Okay. All right, so I will issue, I'm sorry, is there more?
Oh, no, ma'am. Thank
Okay.
you.
I will issue an order allowing 30 days to come into compliance. I will assess a $250 administrative fee for not coming into compliance within the time initially given. And 30 days from today will be January 2nd. So as of January 2nd, if they have not come into compliance, which would mean either removal or at least submitting the necessary paperwork for the permitting and getting that going, I will assess a fine. I will take under advisement the amount of that fine, just so that it is consistent with other non-permitting
Sure.
issues, but I will put that into the order, which I'll issue within the next few days.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Is there anything else that I need to address? No. And in the
No, Your
order, I will
Honor.
also put the responsibility on the owner to make sure that they notify you when they do come into compliance so that you can verify that, okay?
Sounds great. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. I think that's it for this one, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. All right, the next case that we have, I know we've asked for a continuance on item F. So item G, case, FMB case number 2024-1153, property owner Copa Ruben and Brisk Iona? We'll go, I think that sounds good. Okay, property address 5660 Williams Drive. Please correct me if I said that name wrong.
That's what I'm going with as well, Your
Okay.
Honor.
We don't have a respondent here, it doesn't look like. All right. Are we ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you may proceed.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Officer Hoffman. I'm a code enforcement officer with the town of Fort Myers Beach. I've worked for the town since May 13th, 2024. I've been sworn in and will be providing testimony and documentation for case number 2024-1153. Documentation is attached to the agenda as exhibits, and we ask that all documents be accepted into evidence.
The documents that are online will be accepted into evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. The subject property is located at 5660 Williams Drive, Fort Myers Beach, Florida, 33931. Exhibit A contains the notice of violation, notice of hearing sent on October 16th, 2025, affidavit of notice and posting, copy of certified mail receipt, and photos of notice of violation, notice of hearing, posted on October 16th, 2025 on site. Notice of violation, notice of hearing posted to Town Hall on October 16th, 2025. The documentation that the respondents, Kopachu Ruben and Brisk Iona, own the real property that is subject of this code enforcement case. Included in Exhibit A is a copy of the Lee County Property Appraiser, a copy of the property tax statement from Lee County Tax Collector. These records demonstrate that notice was provided to the property owner. Exhibit B contains photos of the initial property inspection on October 16th, 2025, showing the violations. On October 16th, 2025, Code Enforcement Officer Hoffman observed Copa Rubin and Brisk Ioana in violation of the Town of Fort Myers Beach Code of Ordinance, Section 110.1, for the boat dock lift on property being in disrepair and/or unsafe condition, an example but not limited to sections of the roof missing and/or damaged. Cables from the lift portion of the boat dock are hanging freely and not properly secured, and portions of the dock itself are damaged and/or missing, all causing the boat dock lift to be in a dangerous and unsafe condition. Exhibit C contains an affidavit of noncompliance and photos. I performed a reinspection of the property on December 1st, 2025, and the subject property was still in violation of the Town of Fort Myers Beach Ordinance, Section 110.1, for the boat dock lift on property being in disrepair or unsafe conditions. Please accept this affidavit into the record.
Okay, is this Exhibit C? Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right, Exhibit C will be admitted. So we have A, B that were online, and this is Exhibit C.
C, yes, ma'am. The initial notice of violation, notice of hearing was issued on October 16, 2025, with a 30-day compliance period. The respondent, Copachu Rubin and Brisk Ioana, have been in contact with code enforcement regarding achieving compliance. As a result of the subject property owner's communication with code enforcement, and based on my sworn testimony and evidence that has been presented to you, including the exhibits within the agenda packet, on behalf of the Town of Fort Myers Beach, I ask that an order be issued. The town would like to ask for a finding of violation in reference to Section 110.1 for the boat dock lift on property being in disrepair and or unsafe condition. The town is also seeking an administrative fee of $250 to cover the cost of bringing this before the special magistrate. Currently, at this time, we are not seeking any additional daily fines and would ask to extend the respondent, due to his communication with code enforcement, an additional 60 days to bring the property into full compliance. Should the property not be in full compliance within the next 60 days, the town will be seeking daily fines of $250 per day until the property is in full compliance. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, is that all then for this one?
Yes.
Okay. I will issue an order accordingly. So finding of a violation, administrative fee for not coming into compliance within the time initially given. I will not assess any fines at this time. I'll allow them 60 days to come into compliance, and then we could assess a fine at that time, after that time. If they haven't achieved full compliance by 60 days, we'll start it from that day forward, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
And they are working with you, you said they are in communication.
They are in communication, and we had a phone call with the property owner, myself, and our co-compliance manager, Michael, and it was explained to the property owner that we are granting them this additional 60 days, and that if it is not in compliance within the 60 days, there will be no, at that point in time, that there will be no more extensions on the town's end.
Okay. I'll issue an order accordingly. And also, I'll just make sure, I'll put on there that they have to continue to communicate with you to ensure that that you're able to verify when they do come into compliance with the various items, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, so that was item G. Item H, looks like we had a continuance for 30 days. So I'll issue an order of continuance on that one. And item I, we've dismissed because they have become compliant, correct? Are there any other cases that need to be called? Did you have something else that you wanted to address? No, Your Honor. Okay. All right, if we're good then and we're done, then we can adjourn. All right. Good work.